Hi. Some time ago, I made this battery pack using cells recycled from disposable electronic cigarettes, and I used it as a power bank thanks to its powerful module. Many users have raised doubts and asked questions about the safety of using these used batteries. How can we tell if a recycled cell is suitable for our needs? Evaluating the safety of a board is fairly simple. But how can we tell if the batteries are in optimal condition? In this video, I will explain 5 tests for evaluating our recovered batteries using simple equipment that every electronics hobbyist probably has at home. Let's get started. This is the first battery that we will use for testing. It is a lithium polymer battery that I took from the previous video project. It has a capacity of 180 mAh, and as you can see from the date stamp, it was manufactured on March 10, 2025. The second battery is a lithium-ion battery recovered from disposable electronic cigarettes. It has a capacity of 360 mAh and was manufactured on September 26, 2022, more than 3 years ago. This is another lithium-ion battery recovered from disposable e-cigarettes. You saw many of these in the power bank project. This battery has a capacity of 350 mAh and was manufactured on July 14, 2022. The last battery is a classic 18650 model LGS3. I recovered it from an old laptop. It has a nominal capacity of 2200 mAh, and it appears to have been manufactured in April 2010. Guys, this battery is 15 years old and the oldest in the test. Let's hope it doesn't explode. Now that I've introduced you to all the batteries, it's time for the
first test.
This is the easiest test, and the only tool you need is your eyes. At this stage, inspect for any swelling, leaks and electrolyte spills, physical damage, like dents or damage to the outer casing, corrosion, especially of the terminals. This is definitely a pouch cell. There are no bulges, but if you look closely, you will see these dents. They appear to be the result of strong compression in the original case. They aren't deep, but it's good to keep an eye on them. Test rating, 3 out of 5. This one looks new and undamaged. There is some sticky residue, but it appears to be from an adhesive rather than a liquid leak. Rating, 4.5 out of 5. This one also looks new and undamaged. Everything is fine except for these 2 kilograms of Captain Tape. Rating, 4.5 out of 5. This old lady is worn out. Look at the tears in the blue wrapping. In the 18650 model, the entire outer metal cylinder is the negative pole. Only the small disc at the top is positive. The tear exposes the negative pole, which is dangerous. If that part touches a metal surface or another battery, there could be an immediate short circuit with serious consequences. Using it like this could be dangerous. I should remove the blue wrap and replace it with a new one. But I'm brave, so I won't do it. If this battery explodes during the video, I'll get a lot of views. Yippee! I need a multimeter for the next test. I'm so lucky that my old tester has started making this nice sound continuously. Beep, beep, beep. I found another one in the lab. Rather than being a multimeter, though, it's a fantastic random number generator. I told you all this just to remind you to subscribe to my channel and give me all your savings on Ko-fi so I can buy some decent equipment.
Second test.
With our new €10 multimeter, all you need to do is measure the voltage of the batteries before charging them. If the voltage is between 3 and 4.2 volts, the batteries are operating within a good range. Lower voltages could be problematic. In fact, if a lithium cell is kept below 2 or 2.5 volts, depending on the chemistry, for an extended period of time, it undergoes irreversible degradation that can cause internal short circuits during charging. 4 volts is excellent. Rating, 5 out of 5. Great. 3.8 volts is very good. Rating, 4.5 out of 5. 4.1 volts is awesome. 5 out of 5. Even our old lady passed the test. Rating, 3 out of 5. For the
Third test.
we will need a battery charger. I will use the legendary TP4056 that I modified myself. The third test involves charging the battery with a low current of 0.1 or 0.2 C. During the slow charge, we will measure the battery's temperature. If it remains cool or lukewarm throughout the cycle, everything is okay. However, if the battery heats up quickly, this is not a good sign. Disconnect it immediately, as it probably has an internal short circuit or high resistance, and do not use it for your projects. Is everything clear? Let's start charging the first battery. After charging for a few minutes at 120 milliamps, the temperature is perfect, around 22 degrees Celsius. After 2 hours, the temperature is still good and stable. Even after another hour, it's still good and stable. Guys, this test is boring me to tears. I'll be quick. I charged all the batteries slowly. I took lots of temperature measurements, and there were never any problems. I rate all the tested batteries 5 out of 5. I'm so glad this test is over. Now that our batteries are charged, let's move on to the
Fourth test.
We will precisely measure the voltage of each battery to check if it maintains its charge over time. We will leave the batteries disconnected in a safe, stable temperature location for a week. After that, we will measure the voltage again. If the voltage drops by 0.1 or 0.2 volts or more, then the battery is chemically unstable or damaged and unreliable. It's clear and simple, right? Now, let's put our girls to bed and wait. Good night.
1 week later.
Good morning. 9 days have passed. Let's see how the test went. The first battery discharged only 0.01 volts. Excellent result. The second battery didn't lose any power. Fantastic. The pouch cell didn't lose any power either. Now, let's see how our Paleolithic fossil is doing. Excellent. It has discharged only 0.02 volts. Once again, all of our candidates received 5 out of 5 votes. Fantastic. For the
Fifth test.
we will measure the actual capacity of our batteries. This fundamental test will help us understand how much energy the battery can still store. I will use an electronic load for this test, but there are also more economical DIY methods. If you are interested in this topic, let me know in the comments. At the end of the test, the machine will tell us the battery's actual capacity. Generally, a battery with less than 80% of its nominal capacity is considered worn out for high current applications. However, it can still be ideal for low power projects, such as a sensor with a microcontroller like Arduino or ESP32. For each test, the only parameters we need to set are the discharge current and the cutoff voltage. The standard for capacity testing is 0.2 C. For most lithium batteries, a cutoff voltage of 3.0 volts is sufficient. Below this threshold, you could damage the battery. Okay. All that's left to do is begin the test with the first battery. Beep. After 1 hour and 37 minutes of testing, the battery delivered 234 mAh. This equaled approximately 78% of the battery's nominal capacity. While not bad, it does not exceed 80%, so we will use this battery for low-power applications. Quickly connect the pouch cell and start a new test. Beep. After 1 hour and 7 minutes, the result was 167 mAh out of 180, or 92% of the nominal capacity. Excellent. The chubby vape battery delivered 305 mAh out of 360, or 85% of its capacity. Very good. Now, I think we're all wondering what the capacity of our antique piece will be. Since this old shoe has a much higher capacity than the previous ones, I will make a few beeps to increase the discharge current. Beep. A good 1,773 mAh. That's equal to 80.59% of the original capacity. Even this old clunker passed the test by a hair. The most attentive among you may have noticed something strange about this test. First, when a fully charged battery is connected to the device, the voltmeter reads only 4 volts instead of 4.2 volts. I thought the problem was the long connector cables, so I used shorter cables for a more solid connection. As you can see, the new connectors did not solve the problem. Furthermore, when I set the cutoff voltage to 3.0 volts, the battery never fully discharged. When I checked with a multimeter, I read about 3.5 volts instead of 3. I realized that my electronic load works very well with 12-volt battery packs but has difficulty handling individual 4.2-volt cells, resulting in these voltage errors. The solution to these problems is to use a professional electronic load. If you're as poor as I am, you can do 657 tests to find the right setting for decent results. In my case, setting the cutoff voltage to 2.4 volts ended up discharging the battery to about 3 volts, giving me decent results. Now is a good time to remind you that if you subscribe to my channel and use the referral links in the description, you will make me rich and famous, and you won't see crappy equipment in my videos anymore. Despite the problems I encountered with my electronic load, I will use it for the
Sixth test.
For this final test, we will calculate the internal resistance of each battery. A high internal resistance means that the battery is not suitable for high loads, such as powerful motors or high resistances. Furthermore, in battery packs, if one cell has much lower resistance than the others, it will absorb and supply much more current, which can lead to overheating or even a nuclear explosion. To perform the test, measure the battery voltage and annotate it accurately. Then, connect the electronic load or a resistor so that it delivers a current between 0.5 and 108. Activating the load will cause a voltage drop across the battery terminals. Measure this voltage within 1 to 2 seconds of turning on the load. Using Ohm's law, we can calculate the internal resistance. Okay. First, let's set the load on our small pouch cell to 150 milliamps, which is approximately 0.808. Beep. The battery voltage is 4.1 volts. When the load is turned on, the voltage drops to 4.01 volts. The voltage drop is 0.09 volts. At 0.15 amps, this corresponds to 0.6 ohms. I expected a resistance of 0.2 or 0.3 ohms from a battery like this. Therefore, it is definitely not suitable for powering high-demand devices such as motors or power LEDs. The process is the same for our vape cell. I set the current to 300 milliamps, which is equal to 85% of the C rate. Beep. 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 The battery voltage is 4.11 volts. Beep. The voltage drops to 4.02 volts, indicating an internal resistance of 0.3 ohms. I would have expected a much lower resistance, between 80 and 120 milliohms. I would have liked to show you the results of testing this battery, but I forgot to turn on the camera and I don't remember the results. I promise I won't be drunk when I make the next video. Cheers! It's time for our World War II relic. Let's set the current to 1 amp, about 50% of the C rate.
2 hours later.
Let's go! the voltage drops to 3.58 volts, a full 0.5 volts less. This battery has a very high internal resistance. It's a full 0.5 ohms, compared to the 50 milliohms I expected. As we near the end of the video, I wonder what we've learned today by risking blowing up the lab. Numbers never lie, unlike the labels on Chinese batteries. Look at this old LG from 2010. It still has 80% capacity, which seems great. However, the internal resistance test revealed that with 0.5 ohms of resistance, this battery is like an elderly person walking with a cane. If I tried to use it in a drone or e-cigarette, it would overheat instantly, wasting energy and potentially causing harm. Should it be thrown away? Absolutely not. It will power low-current projects for years to come. To help you avoid going crazy with calculations and flying post-its, I will post a detailed guide on instructables.com. Link in the description. Now that we've selected the best batteries, another problem arises. What should my next video be about? Should it be a tutorial or a guide like this one? Help me decide by suggesting ideas in the comments. In the meantime, I'll finish my beer. Remember that I need to become rich and famous as soon as possible, so subscribe, activate the notification bell, and send me all your money so I can buy more beer. Bye, friends.